Hello, this is Josephine from FeminineBodyWisdom.com. Today, I'd like to talk to you about something that I notice all the time with my clients. In fact, I see women doing this quite a lot. It's when we defer our power to someone else or something else. So, one of my favorite sayings is this: we are all born with a beautiful essence, and it's the truth of who we are. Yet, when we let other people take the reins of our lives, when we let other people control what they want for us in our lives, we are giving away our power. When we say yes, when we actually really want to say no, we are deferring our power. So each time that happens, we shrink a little bit inside. And sometimes we shrink so much that it's hard to recognize who we've become. Sometimes we can't even figure out, how we got there. We just wake up one morning and we don't recognize ourselves, our true self. So what are some examples of when we do this? For example, if our partner comes home and they're in a really bad mood, and we bend over backwards to make sure that he's not going to get worse, we're deferring our power. Whenever we say yes to doing something that we really don't want to do, when you have that internal feeling that, no, this doesn't feel right, I don't want to do this, but we say yes anyways because we don't want to seem difficult, or we don't want to seem that we're being negative, and we want to be liked, we're deferring our power. When we buy into society's standard of how a woman should look like, for example, our body image, we're giving away our power to society. So one of the biggest ones that I see, and this was also me, is when we ask others to validate us, to validate our desires, to validate our needs. So for example, let's say you want to become a designer. You feel it. It makes you happy. Yet you wait to hear that yes, that you can do it from someone else. So you wait to hear from someone else that you have that talent instead of really looking inside and feeling it and knowing it and going with your own gut. So whenever we give someone else's opinion more importance than our own, we are deferring our personal power to them. And why do we do this? There are quite a few reasons. For example, we don't want to be judged by others. We don't want to be rejected, or we don't want to lose that friend or that relationship. We want to feel like we belong, that we're part of a community. We also subconsciously believe that we are not worthy, we're not good enough, that we don't know as much as someone else does. So sometimes these are warranted. However, what I'm talking about is when this is a habit, when this is something that takes over our lives and we're doing it consistently, because this creates fear. And when you have fear, there's a blocked pipe. The energy cannot flow and it takes you out of your alignment. So, how can we break this cycle? Because it is a cycle. There are 3 things that we can do and that you can do very quickly and right away that I'm going to share with you. So the first one is that you must develop an intimate relationship with yourself that is truly sacred. Not sometimes, maybe on Sundays, okay, when I have time after work. It's a relationship that you have with yourself every day, all day, and at every single moment. And this is something that you can cultivate over time, and you can start right away today. Because when we're out of our alignment with ourselves, it's easier to defer our power to someone else. When we're in alignment to our essence, to our sacred self, we flow. And the energy flows, and it's easier for us to stay in our personal power and to operate our lives from that place. So it's vital to develop an intimate relationship with yourself and cultivate trust. Self-trust is the highest form of self-love. And I'll say that again. Self-trust is the highest form of self-love. So number 2, develop a strong connection to your intuition. We all have an intuition. Yet when we close the door on it, it can lead us in the wrong path. And this is exactly what we do at Feminine Body Wisdom. We learn how to reconnect to our inner knowing and to trust it, because it's a vital tool for our lives. And number 3, you develop self-honesty. It's one of the most important tools that you need to support you in this process. The biggest personal growth comes from the questions you are willing to ask yourself and how honest you're willing to be with yourself. The more honest you're willing to be, the faster that you will grow and expand. So, if you'd like to know more or have any personal questions that you'd like to ask me, please feel free to contact me. It's my mission to help guide women back to wholeness and completeness, and I'd be honored to work with you. So, be true to yourself, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.